Hi, my name is Andy Blaine. I'm a director of instruction here at Vestal, and I just want to take a couple minutes to share with you some of the influential research that we've been taking a look at and discussing as a committee, as a group, and as a district over the past year. But I want to first just acknowledge what cognitive science tells us, but is intuitive, is that learning is hard. In a classroom setting, in any kind of context, learning is a difficult process. Even when the context is great, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of attention, and it takes the right factors to be in place for real, good, engaged learning to happen. Now, when you introduce phones or other distractions into that environment, it becomes monumentally more difficult to happen. And really, when we introduce something like a phone into the context of a classroom, we're talking about multitasking. And cognitive science also tells us that multitasking is really a myth. And sometimes that's hard for people to hear because sometimes people think that they are really good multitaskers. And typically, when you're multitasking, you're really switching between one task and another. You're single tasking, but you're focusing on this. If it's a phone and I have a notification, I'm focusing on that. And then I'm focusing on the other thing that I want to be paying attention to. In the classroom, typically the teacher or other classmates. We really want, obviously, students to be focusing on what's going on in the classroom. But many times what they're doing is multitasking if there is a phone introduced into that environment. So one thing that we've really focused on is the phone as a distraction from the real purpose of being in the classroom and really in that learning situation. So that's one piece that we've focused on. And one thing that we've pointed to is a study by Common Sense Media called Constant Companion that came out in 2023. And in that study, it reported that about over half of the participants had over 237 notifications on their phones during the day. And that just introduces so many hundreds of distractions, potential distractions during the school day, which can be problematic for learning. The other report that was really influential for us was the Surgeon General came out with his report on youth mental health and social media. And in that report really outlines some of the impact that phones and social media specifically has on adolescents. So some of the obvious ones, but they are present in the report, have to do with sleep. A lot of adolescents are on their phones late into the night. That impacts their attention the next day, and impacts their overall mental health as well. Other things that are present in that is things like fear of missing out, FOMO. We know that a lot of people check their phones because they don't want to miss out on any communication. And a lot of times when students are checking their phone during the day, they want to keep up with that communication, and that's obviously natural. The other thing that sometimes can happen with that, though, is social exclusion, which can really impact mental health for students. So just in these couple of minutes, I wanted to share just a few things from the reports that have been influential on our decision making throughout this process. I would encourage you to read those reports. Again, it's the Constant Companion by Common Sense Media, that's out in 2023, and the Surgeon General's report on youth mental health and social media usage that came out in 2023 as well. They're both short reports, but can be really illuminating on this topic, and certainly has caused some good discussion for us in this district. Again, Andy Blaine, Director of Instruction at Vestal. Please reach out if you have any questions or want to discuss anything further. Thank you.